What's up, everybody? That's right. The Piggy Bank is officially launching. Let's get right into this. The Piggy Bank is the first ever non-inflationary variable time staking annuity. Now, to me, that's just kind of a investor jargon mouthful that doesn't really compute in my brain. But in case you're interested in knowing, because I actually looked this up, an annuity is a term that refers to an insurance contract issued and distributed by financial institutions with the intention of paying out invested funds in a fixed income stream in the future. So basically, you deposit a sum of money, and that money they're promising you to pay out a fixed income stream on those funds you deposited over time. So that's what's happening here at the Piggy Bank. Now, it's not a fixed income stream, as you can see, it is up to 3% daily ROI. So it's not saying 100% it's 3%, but it's up to 3%, which is pretty outstanding. And that's not even considering the fact that you can compound that 3% every day. So that's the cool part about it. You can earn 3%, compound it, and you earn exponentially more over time. And that's the power of compound interest. It's actually very life-changing. So let's keep going. To unlock referral bonuses, you must have dogs staked in the single asset staking pool. Now I'm going to go over this with you in just a second. Let's keep going. You can time lock your harvest to earn massive bonus on your yield. Now, this is a game changer. This is fire. You will receive a bonus multiplier on your principal that you put in that is exponentially going up over the life of your stake. This is something that, as far as I know, has never been done before. There are other protocols out there that will give you a bonus at the end of your stake, but not to your principal during your stake, because adding to your principal throughout the life of your stake will result in multiple 1000x more potential yield at the end of your harvest. That's the way compound interest works. So it's much, much more bullish to have it added to your principal than to receive it at the end. And that's what makes this revolutionary. But everybody say that's not it, because that's not it. You can airdrop your stakes to friends and family using the gift stake function. This is going to be awesome. Like, this is exciting because this also incentivizes team building. So, I plan on doing this. Like, imagine that I lock up several $100 stakes and then airdrop them to you for joining my team. And I lock them up for a year. And if you don't think that's a big deal, I encourage you to go ahead and get out a compound interest calculator and put $100 in, put that you're going to stake it for 12 months and that you're going to compound it every single day. And then let me know in the comments if your mind was blown. Okay? It's a big deal. It could change people's lives. Now imagine being able to airdrop your friends and family, just gift them something that could appreciate over time and could change their financial future. I think that's awesome because it encourages giving. And honestly, that's what I'm all about. I want to be able to give more. I want to make more income so that I can give more. I want to do more good in the world. It's awesome to be able to improve other people's lives because your life was improved. And I love that this platform encourages you to do that. Okay, so how do you even get into the piggy bank? Well, you're going to need pigs and you're going to need BUSD. And when you have those, you're going to create this pigs BUSD LP. Don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in just a moment. Now, if you look down here, you'll see this slider. Now, this is pretty awesome because you get to decide how many weeks you want to lock your stake. Now, what's missing here that will be here tomorrow is the dashboard option that shows the bonus multiplier that will be in conjunction with how many weeks you lock your stake. So, for instance, you might be able to get a 5% bonus for locking it for 6 weeks, or you might be able to get a 40% bonus for locking it for 156. Now, I'm just making that up, but it's going to be something like that. So you'll be able to see what kind of bonus multiplier you'll get, and you'll be able to see the outcome at the end of your stake. And to me, this is the most bullish part about it because you're painting a vision for people. You're painting a vision for them to see, if I put $1,000 in and I lock it for 6 months, what could I have? What would my life be like then? You're allowing them to dream. And you and I both know that people make financial decisions mostly based off emotion and not logic. We all want to say it's based off logic, but you start dreaming about something, all of a sudden you're ignoring logic and you're making that decision. And I just think allowing people to dream is a great thing that's going to make this platform explode. Coming down here, you'll see this says coming 3/3/2022. At the time of this recording, that is tomorrow. And you'll see here, gift piglets. This is where you can airdrop your piglet or your stake to your friends, family, to your teammates, whatever you want to do. And one other note I want to make right now that makes this even more cool is that you can have multiple stakes. So kind of the sky is the limit. Some people are going to be using the strategy of having one stake that's long-term, maybe one that's midterm, maybe 1 year, 6 months, and then one that's maybe 1 month. And that's kind of like your paycheck. So just use your imagination on how you could use this. You could lock something up for 1 month, and then at the end of that, harvest it as your paycheck, and then lock it up for another month, and just keep letting it grow and letting it snowball. I mean, how cool is that? You can have these varied time length of stakes, and I think that's super bullish because even imagine this. Let's say you want to go to Italy in 6 months. It's a goal you have to take your family to Italy. And you say, okay, I'm going to lock in $1,000 for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, I'm going to harvest what I have and take my family to Italy. You post about that and you show people what you're able to do. I mean, where am I missing that that's not going to be wildfire? That's going to be awesome. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. And as you and I both know, nothing's guaranteed in crypto. So definitely do your own research. Do your research on the project, do your research on the development team, and definitely only use money that you wouldn't be upset if you lost. Only use risk capital and don't do anything crazy, and do only what you want with your money. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm only showing you what might be possible with this new protocol. Here's where you get your referral link that you can share with friends and family. And depending on how many dogs you have staked in the single asset staking pool, you can earn up to 5% on their initial principal that's added to the piggy bank, which is pretty awesome. So if you go over here to pools, you'll see there's the dogs single asset staking pool. And what do you earn in this pool? You earn pigs. So that's pretty amazing. Just for holding dogs, you earn pigs. Pigs are kind of the king token here at the farm that everybody wants. And you can see here, I already have 70.93 dogs. Now you only need 13 to reach that max 5% referral payout, but I have more dogs based on the idea that I believe dogs will appreciate over time, and I want to capitalize on that appreciation. So if we jump back over to the piggy bank, you'll see the referral page here. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but since we were just talking about referrals, you can see if you have 2 dogs, you get a 1%, 3 dogs, you get a 2%, 5 dogs, you get 3%, 8 dogs, 4%, and 13 dogs, 5%. If you look at this chart right here, this is one of Forex, the developer's previous projects and coins, and it's BREEP or BREEP. And BREEP, when it first came out, it had a high, and then it just had a major retracement and sort of just fell flat. And when you get down to this part of the chart over here and you see it start taking off, well, ask yourself what happened during that time. Well, right at that time was when Forex, the developer, said, okay, the only way that you can get referrals with the drip token, which is another one of Forex's projects, is by holding BREEP in your wallet. So the same kind of structure was put in place right here, guys, where you had to hold X number of BREEP to get X number percent referral bonus on drip. And look what happened to BREEP. So people are expecting that very same thing to happen to dogs, and that's bullish for the overall system of dogs. Now, here you'll see a table that shows all of your stakes. So if you have one that's for 1 year, one that's for 6 months, and maybe one that's for a month, and maybe one that's for your vacation in Italy, and then you can see them and manage them and compound them individually here. It looks pretty cool. I'm really excited about this. You go down, you'll see everybody who joined using your link. This is pretty awesome and useful because you can reward them by sending them airdrop stakes, and that's pretty awesome as well. Outside of the system, you could even send them drip if you wanted to. It's all up to you, but it incentivizes people, a reward system for people to give. Again, that's why I love this. This whole ecosystem is based around earning and giving. And I love that. And that's how you get ahead, is by giving, because you get more people on your team. It's a beautiful system. All right, let's take a look here at more of the features. You can earn up to 3% ROI a day on your principal. Now that's important, up to 3%, and that is dependent upon your ability to compound versus withdraw. So your personal principal is increased through a time-locking multiplier, creating an extremely powerful opportunity for the compound growth. So longer pays better mechanics with a nonlinear increase in principal buying power for longer time staking. So what that means is, if you look at this chart right here, you're going to see this is how your bonus multiplier is added to your principal. So 30% of the multiplier, so let's say you get a 10% bonus multiplier on $1,000. That $1,000 represents, let's say, 100 coins. So you would get 10 extra coins as a result of this bonus multiplier. So 30% of those 10 extra coins in this example would be added to your principal in the first 75% of the stake. So that would be this portion right here. The first 3 coins of those 10 bonus coins would be added here, and it would happen in a progression over time. Now, what happens here is kind of the magical part, like adding gasoline to your principal. And then the rest of it will be added exponentially to the principal in the last 25%. So the remaining 7 coins in this example will be added in the last 25% of your stake. Now, what makes this so magical is that this part of your stake is where the magic of compound interest is really happening anyway. Usually there's a tipping point in compound interest that starts to become exponential. It starts to take off in a way that is nonlinear and kind of mind-blowing. And to go ahead and add to your principal during that time, that's exciting. That's really cool. That's one of the most cool parts about this to me. Now, let's say you're a big dog roller and you put in $50,000 and you're in it to win it, and you stake it for, let's say, 2 years. You want to just create life-changing wealth and you're willing to wait 2 years, but something happens and something comes up in your life and you need to get that money. Well, the cool part is you can do an early end stake. So you can get part of your principal back. Now, I just want to say you're going to be penalized for that. You will lose 50% of your principal, and you can only take out 50% of your principal. Not any of your earnings, only 50% of your principal. So you still can get some of your money back, which is cool, but you cannot get your whole principal or any of your earnings. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And another really bullish thing is that the developer, the 50% that's forfeited of that person who did an early end stake, doesn't go to the developer. And so many other protocols, that would be an easy way for the developer just to offload those funds into their pocket. Another reason why Forex is a great developer that everybody loves and rallies around, because he's not trying to make himself rich off these fees and taxes in his protocols. So what happens to those funds? Well, they get put into a pool that pays out people their bonuses on their stakes. It's just another way of adding to the fact of making this more sustainable over time. One other quick thing I wanted to note is that there actually is a max payout of the piggy bank, and that is 10 times your original principal balance. Now, again, if you keep compounding, well, what that 10 times is, that 10x actually increases. But if you stop compounding and you only start harvesting, well, then you will be capped at 10 times whatever your principal was. And I think that's pretty cool. That also is a way to make it where this can continue on, where one person who builds a big bag can't totally leech and drain the system. I think that's really brilliant, and I think that's really cool. And that's another reason why your strategy needs to be to keep compounding. If you want this to earn indefinitely for you and be a beautiful passive stream of income, well, you need to tend to it and make sure that you are playing the game in a healthy way that will keep your yield high for the long run. So what happens when you deposit your LP tokens into the piggy bank? Well, what happens is you're going to receive piglets, which is kind of fun. I like it. It's a piggy bank and you receive piglets. Now, these piglets are going to go and find truffles, and those truffles are the things that you can actually harvest. So the piglets you can think of as your LP tokens that you'll never be able to cash out those piglets. You can only cash out the truffles that those piglets find. But if you compound and hence feed the truffles to the piglets, you get more piglets. So the goal and idea of the game is to keep growing your balance of piglets so that they can find more truffles, which increases the daily harvest that you could potentially receive. So every day, those piglets will find truffles, and you have the option to compound or harvest unless you're time locked. If you're time locked, let's say for 6 months, you have no option to harvest. You can only come in every day and compound those truffles to make more piglets. And at the end of your time lock, you will be able to harvest at that point, but you won't be able to for the whole length of your time lock. And that's the idea of time locking. You're not time locking to be able to harvest your principal. That will never happen. You can only harvest up to 3% of your principal in the form of truffles. You got to get more piglets so they can find more truffles. And you compound those truffles and feed them to the piglets to get more piglets. So the race will be on to get as many piglets as you can to have a bigger portion of the actual contract balance as a whole of every player that will give you a bigger yield every single day. All right, so let's go ahead and buy some LP tokens to show you exactly how easy it is to do. So I have in my wallet some BUSD that I'm going to be using to buy. Here it is right here. I have about $59 just for this example. We're going to go over to the liquidity tab. We're going to do add pigs LP and give it just a moment, and this should populate what I have in my wallet. Here it says I have 59, so that's right. And what we're going to do is, instead of trying to figure out what 50% would be of this and that, all you do on whatever token you have, in this case I have BUSD, I'm going to hit max. It's going to automatically tell me what 50% of pigs would be to match this. And you see this green button here. And if this was your first time doing this, it would say, I think, enable BUSD, enable pigs. And at that point, you approve those, and then you'd be brought to this screen that says supply. So I hit supply. It tells me I'm going to be getting 3.2 pigs BUSD tokens for this. And I want to confirm the supply, which is pretty awesome. It's so easy. I hit confirm. And a quick point, if you did not have this LP added to your MetaMask already, this is where you'd hit that button and you'd add it. Now, let's see, I already have it there, so I'm going to cancel that. But that's how you do it. And you can see that I already had 124, I think, LP in my wallet. So if you just created your LP, you would jump back to the piggy bank, and when this is live, you will go over here, you'd hit max, or whatever amount you want to put in. You would select how many weeks you want to lock it for, and instead of saying coming 3/3/2022, this would say buy piglets. So whatever amount you put in here, it would say buy, 40 piglets or 400 piglets or whatever amount it would say. You'd hit buy, you would confirm in your MetaMask, and that's it. You have your piglets, and they will immediately begin seeking out and earning truffles. And that's how the game is played. People in the game are rewarded who compound more than they harvest, and that's just the way that it is. So in the beginning, you might only compound depending on what your strategy is. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to time lock it, and I'm going to compound. And at the end of that, I will see how things are going, and I might get my initial money out, but I don't know. See, for me, I don't just want my initial back. I want to exponentially increase the amount that I'm earning. But if you choose to harvest, which, hey, might as well pay yourself, just make sure you're doing it at a rate that is less than your compounding rate, and I think you'll be just fine. Okay, guys, so that is the walkthrough of the piggy bank. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to provide some real value to you today. And if you liked the video, why don't you take a moment right now to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be dropping fire for you guys every single day. And not only that, check out my other videos on developing your mindset, on how to think the right thoughts to create the right outcomes in your life. If you found value in today's video, be sure to use my referral link down below. Like I said, I plan on doing some pretty cool stuff with gifting airdrops, stakes to anybody on my team, and to see what kind of fun things we can all come up with to actually contribute and do great things in the world, whether we give to charities or figure out a planned thing that we want to do together. I think the sky's the limit. It's my goal to create a massive army of people who make more money while they sleep than they can spend while they're awake. It's time for all of us to wake up wealthy.